Hey guys, so in the last video I asked you to ask me some questions, so I had something to talk about in the video. I got a lot of questions from you guys. I was only able to pick 4, so if you do want your question answered, just write it again, or if you have a new question, write down in the comments below and I'll try to answer it in the next video. The first question is by W Merlin W, and it's pretty simple. How did you choose the plants you grow? Basically, this is a citrus orchard. We wanted a lot of citrus here, so the point was to get as much variety also. So in this small area, we were able to fit 20 citrus trees of all different kinds. They are dwarf trees, so we can space them closer together. They're 10 feet apart, and each row in here is 50 feet. So there's 4 rows of citrus, 2 other rows of other stuff. But basically, that was the first part. We needed to figure out what the target species was, our main crop. So citrus, lots of variety. And then where we go from there, we got to figure out some support species that they need. So we just take what we have on the land here and plug them in where they fit, the height, the size, what the shape is of the tree, how it's going to interact with everything else. And it's something you really need to see and have experience to know what the final look is going to be of each plant and what kind of light they're going to need, what layer they fit in the system. So it's kind of hard to answer that, like how do you choose which ones? You just got to first start with what you want and then where does it fit, basically. So we also have a lot of bananas here. We have Claricidia, Mexican sunflower, which has gone crazy right now. In the beginning, I kind of put a lot of stuff in here and now I'm kind of thinning it out. I don't want as much variety. I want it to be more easy to manage. It was kind of a lot of work when things are placed close together, and then a little bit more hand weeding rather than string trimming, which I actually like doing. String trimming, some people maybe don't like it, or I feel like it's very efficient, quick way to get down all the weeds and anything you don't want. I'm actually going to talk about that in another question that I got. So basically that's it. Just choose what you want, where does it fit, and then you could always add things later and change things around later when you figure out what things starting to look like and that kind of thing. So thank you for the question. The next question comes from Catherine and Rob. Great video. Hope you don't mind 2 questions. Did you remove the support plants that were too close to the citrus because they were shading the citrus or competing for water and nutrients? Have you noticed any effect on the bananas when you remove the keikis? I've seen some growers suggest that cutting the corm reduces the energy of the mother, but others are fine with the practice. Thanks. Thank you for the question. First one was about the support species. So yeah, I moved them. I took them out because they were way too close to the citrus. When maybe like a month after I did all the intervention and cut them, they were already back and really uptight against the citrus, which was causing bad airflow. I was getting a lot of sooty mold on the citrus, and just they were way too big and crowding at the time that I wanted to do interventions. So I set it up kind of, I want to do interventions at least for now, or the first period, like every 3 months. So those crotalaria that you're talking about were there, I don't know, maybe 2 feet, around 2 feet from the citrus trees. And in a month, they were already hitting the citrus trees. So I didn't want that. I wanted something that can grow for like good 3 months without getting too close, crowding a little bit at the end of that 3 month, but not too much to where they were like just really just engulfed. And also, yeah, I feel like they were competing for water, especially just being so close. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe it's just dry here this year, and it's been dry in this area generally. And yeah, so we removed those and planted other things a little further apart. In some of the spots we weren't able to replace anything, but there's other spots we can drag a little distance. We don't want to drag too far because then we're not very efficient. So just grabbing whatever's close and mulching, there. I also come through with the county mulch and chicken manure fertilizer on occasion to just make sure the trees are well fed and mulched. As you can see, we have plenty of mulch and support species around. It's just kind of gotten out of hand this time. We took a little bit longer of a break, and it's been summer. Has been raining a little bit now, so things are growing really fast. Thank goodness for these videos, because it makes me actually do the intervention here. I'm really busy with other stuff, but because I have to get to this very soon, I made the video. So that's a good way to stay consistent with the videos. Your other question was about the bananas, and for me, I'm not really too concerned with the banana production as far as the fruit. We're trying to get mulch out of them, and just a little bonus, we do get fruit. I don't use them strictly as mulch, but that's the main purpose here. And I only leave enough for like one banana that has fruit on it at a time. And then kind of commercial growers, this is what they do too. They leave a small one, a medium one, and a big one. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do around here. Any extra keikis I've been selling, and anything that I can't sell, I just mulch to the other trees, and it's been working really good. We have been getting fruit. We got a few racks in here right now. One of them's got to be really close to being ready. This next question comes from Nathaniel Keniston, and he says, the one question I have had from my own little forest is about the grass. Consistently having to remove the grass keeps growing into the tree rows. Now my systems are very young, but I do have a section that is about a year old and does a little bit better. I guess more plants and shade, the less grass. Well, as you'll see here, we have a lot of shade and we're still getting grass. So the one thing I've started to do more is just space your trees that are in your tree rows, even your support rows, whatever. Space them enough distance apart. For me, it's like 2.5 feet. That way you can get in there with a string trimmer. Like I said in the other question, I love using the string trimmer. It's kind of satisfying to just go through and then take everything down. Just kind of meditate through the process. I wear headphones and listen to music. So I don't mind at all using a string trimmer. It's much better than hand weeding. So that would just be my advice, is space things far enough apart to where getting in there with the string trimmer is really easy. Use the guard so you don't hit any trees, and you should have no problem with grass. It's great when you have grass around everything, or any kind of weed, because as soon as you cut it, it becomes food for the other trees, and everything that you see above ground, there's definitely things below ground that are going to benefit. So I wouldn't stress too much about the grass. When you, like you said, when you are in the beginning, you're going to get a lot of grass growing before you completely shade out the grass. But for me, I really don't mind it. It's kind of thin because it is very shady here. It's not super thick. I don't feel like it's affecting the trees much either, so that's good. So thank you for that question. Next question. And I like this question because it makes me talk about my business. I usually don't talk much about it. This question is from TMAC 2024. I would like a video that promotes your services, more detail, also a video where to get products like mulch, soil, supplies, plants, and trees. So the first part of your question I'll answer first, and the mulch I get at in Hilo, the county mulch. It's free first Saturday of the month, and you pay $10 a yard on the first Wednesday. So, and you can fill up unlimited as much as you want. Soil I get from Sanford, just get Hamakua soil. I make my own compost. And supplies, oh, the mosquitoes here are terrible today. The supplies, plants, and trees, my favorite place is Garden Exchange, but there's a lot of places around that have good trees and supplies, but it's a little far for me to go to Hilo, but I'm in there once in a while anyway, so if I need something, I'll just stop by. But that's my favorite Garden Exchange. All right, so the second part of your question, or the first part actually, was my services. The first one is kind of just like a consultation. It's like kind of making a plan. So wherever you're at, we'll come and assess it and figure out a plan to get you to where you want to be. All my resources, like I just shared, the Garden Exchange one, I have a whole bunch of other things, like if you need D9 excavator, you need a small delivery, a big delivery of something. I have all that information that I could share. I also provide cuttings and stuff, cuttings, seeds, for stuff that I have. I can't just promise anything, but like some things I have an abundance of. If I don't, then I might have it later in the year. I could give you. So that's another thing. So basically, the consultation is a plan that we make together, and that's it. So the next one is kind of like, I haven't really done this for anybody yet, but I've made a whole plan. It's kind of like a mentorship. So it would include kind of the first consultation, like a plan, and then we work from there. We work on design together. It's like a one-on-one mentorship, so hands-on also. So we do everything together. I teach you how to go from just beginner or whatever, and we work on this for a year, and we have different sessions. And there's the first one would be like a plan, then we come up with a design, and then we do planting. I show you how to plant, and it would basically be kind of like the size of this system that we have, which, if for you guys that don't know, it's about 50 by 100. So a very small area, but I have fit all these trees and stuff. We just work on something together from start to finish. It'd be like a 1 year period, depending on how fast or slow you want to move. This could take less than a year, but it's probably not going to take any more than a year. You know, it'll eventually be your nursery to move and replicate it, either, you know, little by little or a really big area. You know, it's up to you at that point. So it's just basically a mentorship with maybe 8 sessions throughout a year, and we do hands-on how to plant, how to prune, how to do management. And I think it'd be really great. By the end of it, you'll know how to do this yourself. About 50% of my clients that I've done work for in planting have no idea what they're getting into, and then when it comes time to taking care of the things that I've planted for them, it's really tough. And so I'm hoping that this kind of is a better way to do things, to teach people throughout a year how to do it themselves. But then the last option is, if you know, can't or don't want to do all the planting, you don't have the time, maybe you don't have the physical ability to, there is also the last option, which is installations and management. So basically an installation and management would be me or my team just coming in, planting, and doing the management. So if you don't have time but you do have money, that is the option. The other options are kind of like to be able to do it yourself. So I think that fits everybody's needs. So hopefully I'll have enough time to take on more clients soon. But I just wanted to put that out there because eventually I do want to get more jobs. And if you guys are interested, let me know. Just the email. Our email is in the description all the time. So just go down there. It's aloha.offgridhawaii, and send me a message if you're interested. So this here is what it looked like before I even got started. This has been about 3 months worth of growth. Got a lot of tall Mexican sunflower. And there you go. This is what it looks like after. It looks completely different. The only thing I mulched with county mulch was those pineapple rows. Everything else just got like a strip of mulch down the side from everything else that's in the system there. I just wanted to show this part here because the sunflower is like 10 feet tall. And then this is what it looks like when I cut it all down. This is about a couple days later too, so it's getting dried out, the mulch. And here we got some bananas. We have probably 5 racks of bananas in here right now, and maybe 7 plants, so 2 of them don't have a rack, but we're gonna have a lot of bananas. And here you can see the kids enjoying them. I love being able to go around the yard and pick things for the kids to eat.
We might need to wash our teeth after this.
So all the trees are looking pretty healthy. The leaves have turned like solid green. If you remember in the older videos, there was a lot of kind of yellowing and striping and kind of deficiency looking leaves. But even though the last about month has been really drought-like conditions with no rain, these trees are doing pretty good. Here, I wanted to show this because this is one thing you want to avoid. This is guinea grass, and if it gets in there somewhere in like your pineapples, it's gonna just be a nightmare. So I finally decided to take it out, and I'm really glad I did. Here's our kumquat tree, and these fruits just set. I did plan on taking the fruit off of all the trees for the first 3 years, but this tree looks super healthy, so I left them. And we have a variegated pink lemon here. Also, tree looks fine, so got a couple lemons on it. We'll keep them, as well as our Tahitian lime, which first one on our property, so we're really excited about this tree too. This here's a Milo tree, really just symbolic because this is Milo's orchard, so we decided that we had to put a Milo tree in Milo's orchard, and growing really nicely. I love the heart-shaped leaves of it. Just a quick shot here to show you there still is a whole lot of shade. I didn't cut any albizia or gliricidia this time because there was still threat of drought coming, and I'm glad I did because it was literally really dry here for the next like week or two. So a little protection for the trees. I really want to highlight this section of the orchard because it's working out perfectly. I have showed this in a previous video where I lined the row with Mexican sunflower. There's a bit of a gully in here, and that's where I'm piling the material and leaving stuff off the mound because it's been really dry, and when it does rain, the mulch would just shield it off of the mound and nothing would get wet. So here we are just putting them along the rows this time. I know probably grass is going to grow in there because it's not covered with mulch, but if it does get bad, I do plan on coming in there with some county mulch, something a little more porous that'll allow the water to drain through versus some of these leafy materials that just deflect it like a tarp. It's always nice to see some new growth on these trees. The new growth looks really healthy to me. We are getting a little bit of rain now, so I think that's helping. This is only a week after I did the prune, and we're already starting to see a good amount of new growth on the sunflower as well. This here is an areca palm. I'm pretty sure we found it when we cleared the lot, and it's kind of in a random spot, but I did keep it, and it's looking super healthy. I really don't know what I'm going to do with it though.
And I can see back to you, Daddy.
Here we have Milo just taking some quick measurements out in the orchard. He's planning on putting something here. I'm not sure what yet. So this here is about 2 weeks after I pruned that sunflower, and you can see how much it's actually come back in that time. There's some sugar cane there that's in between each of the citrus trees in this row. And there's also some cassava that I just cut all the way to the ground so you can't see it. This pineapple here must have been triggered to flower in our spring intervention. All the other ones were normally where they should be in the summer, and they were really good. We got really nice big ones in here. I was thinking about getting rid of the pineapple completely just because it is a little bit of a pain to get in there and hand weed and mulch everything. But I really don't have them growing anywhere else on the property, so I just left them in here. They do fit well underneath the gliricidia. I could be using this space for more mulch, but just decided to go with the pineapples. And in this row is we planted all new ones from the ones that had already produced fruit. These are the keiki from those. And there's a couple big ones left in there that will probably set fruit for the next season. I honestly expected things to grow a little bit faster, but I have to remember these are dwarf trees. They're probably not going to grow as fast. Plus, it has been really dry, so I think that's really holding everything back a little bit. But these trees are looking really healthy, so I can't complain. They may not be growing as fast, but they do look really healthy, and eventually they will put on a lot of growth when we get some better weather conditions. This is our top row and by far the driest out of all of them. When I did put the soil down, it was mixed a little bit too heavy with the cinder, so it does drain better and dry out quicker. I have been favoring this area, trying to mulch it more, and here's one of the trees. You can see it doesn't look like the other ones I was showing you. It doesn't look bad though. One thing we put in here was some kalo, though. It's going to be an indicator if the soil's dry, because kalo will not tolerate it if it's too dry. So if we see the kalo suffering and we know it's time to water and mulch and get the soil moist again.